Welcome to the Vault Exile. This is a two-part live. There is an update pertaining to Summer Wells. The second part of this live is pertaining to the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. Where was Christopher Proudfoot, February 26, 27? Where was he? Was he in the Hendersonville area? Hendersonville, Memphis, or surrounding areas of Memphis, Tennessee? Thank you for joining me. Like, share, subscribe. Share this live stream to all platforms. Also follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app, where I give posts and commentary on that platform as well. Feel free to subscribe. Thank you for your time. If you are willing to give your opinion pertaining to either subject matter during this live stream, you can hit the link and voice your opinion. You have the option to show yourself or not show yourself. Thank you for your time. Pardon the last live from last night. It was deleted because someone decided to come onto the platform with nudity, and I had to delete that live stream as not to get my channel struck. Thank you so much for your time. Welcome all new subscribers and older viewers. If you haven't subscribed, join this playhouse. You will enjoy the ride. Thank you for your time. Two-part live, everybody. WJHL TV 11 is the source.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation tells us TBI and FBI searched an area this past week in a continued search for Summer Wells. It's our breaking news tonight.
It's been more than 4 years since Summer Wells was last seen. The then 5-year-old was reported missing from her home in the Beach Creek community in Hawkins County.
There's been no sign of the little girl since, and law enforcement from several agencies have worked countless tips over the years. News Channel 11's Ansley Daniels spoke with TBI, who says the case is far from cold. Ansley?
Yeah, Sarah and Casey, there have been more questions than answers since Summer Wells disappeared from her home in Hawkins County on June 15th of 2021. But today, the TBI confirmed that their agents, along with the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI, continue to investigate what happened to Summer. They say that last week, on November 13th, their agents, along with detectives, were at a location in the 3500 block of Van Hill Road in Greenville, following up on a lead in the case. That's about 9.5 miles from the Wells family home on Ben Hill Road via State Route 347. Now, we followed up with the TBI, asking if they could provide details about the nature of the tip, if anything substantiated from it, and how long it had been since their agents followed up on a lead like this in the field. The spokesperson couldn't tell us those details, but said that agents follow up on leads as they come in, and the investigation remains active and ongoing. Now, this is the first update outside of law enforcement sharing age-progressed photos and ensuring the case is not cold and that they haven't forgotten about Summer. We also reached out to the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, Ronnie Lawson, and have yet to hear back from him or his office. It's important to note, though, that there is still an active Amber Alert for Summer, and no one has been arrested or charged in connection to her disappearance.
3500 block. Let me get that street address again. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Greenville, Tennessee is a neighboring town, small town. Why were they in Greenville, Tennessee? I'm curious. It's been years since I've been to Greenville, so I'm very curious to why they were there. Help the Queen understand. 3500 block of Van Hill Road, 9.5 miles from the Wells home. So probably what, less than a 15-minute drive. TBI says agents follow up on leads as they come in. So we have the TBI, FBI investigating this disappearance of Summer Wells. So if you had any inkling of what was going on, not going on, you now know other agencies are involved besides the local sheriff's department. Ronnie Lawson did not reply to the news asking for a comment. That's expected. Many people don't have faith in Ronnie Lawson and his jurisdiction. It's neither here nor there with me. As I always tell you, once a federal agency steps in, I don't worry about the local police department, sheriff's department. It is what it is. Who called in the tip, number one? When was the tip called in? What is the relevancy of the tip pertaining to this home area in Greenville, Tennessee? Will we find out that the people who own the home know the wells? So let's ask that question. The home where they went, do the occupants know the wells? Were there occupants living at this address that knew the wells? Who are these people? Who gave the tip? When did they give the tip? What is the relevancy of this address? Did the child go there? Was the child dropped off there by Candace Blythe Wells 4.5 years ago? Candace, do you know this street? Is this a hoax? Got to ask that as well. So you now know they follow up and they're finally waiting years to tell us something pertaining to a tip. So you have to count how many tips these people get from hocus pocus people who don't have anything better to do with their time but meddle. They have decided to give us some information. Maybe there's some relevancy, so this is why they decided to release this information to the public. And I'd like to thank TBI FBI for sharing this information with us, whether it is relevant or not. What's going to be interesting is that it is relevant, and our little friends, the whales, they are shaking in their boots, wondering, uh-oh, what they doing over there? Because as I have said to you all so many times pertaining to true crime, there is always somebody that holds the secret to a crime, mischief, mayhem. I think most of you know this. Haven't you shared a secret with someone in your lifetime? You told them never tell anybody. May not have been murder or fraud, but just a little tiny secret. Are we going to find out that the whales shared a little tiny secret with somebody at this address? Whose house is this? Is it a house, business? I'm sure you all have already pulled it up on your Google map. Well now, well now. Hello, Mimi. How are you? Or is that Mean Jean? Thank you for joining us. I'm going to get that address one more time. So I'm going to pull it up on my phone. Oh, Lordy. Where is this investigation going? I just assumed it was somewhere near their house, but it's not. 9.5 miles. 3500 block of Van Hill Road. Write that down. Put that in my notes. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to pull it up. Don't know how long this street is, but we will see. What it's looking like. 3500 Van Hill Road, Greenville, Tennessee. Well now, well now. This is a desolate area, 3500 Van Hill Road. I'm looking at it. It's a typical road in East Tennessee, as you would probably see in any part of Tennessee. it's nothing there, the 3,500 that hits the mark on my Google. Now I can keep going down the road to see if I see any houses on this road. Let's take a little tour here. Welcome to the Vault Excel. Thank you for joining me. As I said, I don't know how long this road stretches, but so far I'm going down the road and there are no houses as of yet. Coming to a yellow sign. I finally come to one mailbox. It's a winding road that goes up to the first house with a green top, like a wooden cabin. I'm going a little farther down the road. What do we have here? Some type of business. I don't know what this is. A shed with some trucks, top of gravel. Tree trimming trucks. I don't even know what this says. I can't blow it up to see what it says on this wooden building. I don't know what that is. So far, it's just like a typical desolate road with a little bit of this, a little bit of that. One little shack house, a trailer. We're now getting to a few more little houses. But it's the typical type of what I call back road, East Tennessee. No skyscrapers, none of that. Got a few little houses in this direction of where I'm now in the 39 block, 3946 Van Hill Road. And then it splits till you can go up another road, little back road up to somebody's house. So as I go into 3900 block, I get to a few little more houses where mailboxes sit at the edge of the road. 3954. Mr. and Mrs. Wells, would you like to enlighten the Queen why TBI, FBI were in this location? Do you have any ideas? Curious. Hello, Brooke. 3537. Where'd you all get that number from? $35.37. Okay. There's a house going up a gravel road. Who lives here? It's a winding road in the middle of nowhere. Owned by Paul Hill, uncle to Fred Hill. Okay. Well, many people had his name mentioned in this saga, Mr. Hill. I don't know what relevancy he would have in this case or any other relatives. But once again, this is a tip by somebody. I don't know why someone would mention this said home, but we will see where it goes. We will see where it goes. The second part of this live is pertaining to Sebastian Rogers and Mr. Christopher Proudfoot, the stepfather to the child who is still vanished. Please check out my past 2 lives pertaining to Sebastian Rogers and Seth Rogers. Since his name was mentioned in the chat, the past 2 lives, the news broadcast will tell you that he was in Memphis. But some of you have quoted that he said he was at his mother's house. What is the truth? Because it can't be both. So, Mr. Proudfoot, did you eventually slip up and tell people that you stayed at your mother's house that weekend? Because the news broadcasts have you in Memphis, not your mother's. So which is the truth? Where was Christopher Proudfoot February 26, 27? Was he in Hendersonville, the general area, or Memphis, Tennessee, or the general area of Memphis, Tennessee? 2-part live, everybody. The link is in the chat if you would like to hit the link to come up to give your opinion pertaining to this address being searched by TBI FBI pertaining to Summer Wells and the location of Christopher Proudfoot, February 26, 2027. Because that's why I don't like all that he said, she said stuff. Because it can't be both. As I always tell you, I report what the news say. If the news gets it wrong, they put in a correction, then I'll gladly put in a correction. My understanding is that the man was not in town. So, Mr. Proudfoot, where were you? Are we going to find out that Mr. Proudfoot was not at work? He was not on his way to work. He was not in a camper. He was not in a hotel. He was in the general area of his damn house. As I said to you before, I believe the child never made it home. Because you can't have a person going to a garbage can, but you don't have them exiting the house. You can't have it both ways. Because if I can see you coming out once, I can see you coming out twice. What's the difference? There is no difference. Mr. Proudfoot, where were you? Did you go home, stay at your mother's house, somebody else's house, hotel, what? Met up with Katie at some point on that weekend? Did you see your stepson, sir? I'm curious. Because one thing I've learned about true crime, what the news tell you is just a synopsis as well. They don't really know what happened. They only know what's been told to them. Everything's a version until it can be proved. Hello, Pebbles. So where were you, Mr. Proudfoot? Were you scurrying around like a rat, trying to see your wife and to do some dirty deeds pertaining to a 15-year-old autistic kid? I got to get to my house. I got to get to my house. That's my house. I pay bills at this house. I want to stay in my house. I'm tired of staying down here when I get off from work. I want to go home. Did it kind of go like that? What we used to say as children in Chicago, singing a little song, a little nursery rhyme. It kind of goes a little like this. Cry, baby, suck your mama's titty. Damn, Queen, that's deep. I know. Was that what was going on in your life, Mr. Proudfoot? Cry, baby, suck your mama's titty. You're tired of sucking on your mama's breasts. You wanted to go home. Tired of whining to Katie Proudfoot on the phone. Why you couldn't be in your house. Interesting. And many people are going to question it. Well, why wasn't he at the house? Very good question. So, Christopher, when did you stop staying at your house on the weekends when you got off of work? That's some deep SHIT, is it not? To pay a mortgage and you can't even go to your damn house. Shut your mouth. Is that why we're here, sir, talking about a 15-year-old boy missing? It's because something went down in that house and you were told not to be in the proximity of your own damn house because of what you were doing to a 15-year-old kid, when all y'all had to do was gladly pack his bags and drop him off at Seth Rogers' doorstep. Checkmate. People have been doing it for years. Come on with it, Queen. Let me school you on some old school SHIT. Folks been packing up bags and dropping folks off at their mama, daddy, cousin, auntie house. I can't do nothing with them. Here's your package. See you later, alligator. Deuces. I'm woke. I've been woke. 54 years of wokeness. Checkmate. See, all this could have been avoided. All this hee-hawing ass around with these damn $2 ass hillbillies. All you had to do was pack his little suitcase up, pack up all his little belongings, and drive on down to Seth's job or house and say, here you go. We got something that belongs to you. We done. We out. Deuces. But oh no. You couldn't do it that way. You couldn't do it the grown folks way. Hey, come pick up your child at 3:30, 4:30, 5:30. I'm done. I'm out. Isn't it amazing how grown folks just don't want to be grown? They can't wait to get grown. They do all type of crazy SHIT when they're children and teenagers, but when they get grown, they don't want to act grown. They don't want to play grown up because, oh yeah, that's right, it's too damn hard, ain't it? But you don't mind taking off your clothes and having sex with folks and laying down and making babies. You don't mind shacking up with women and having sex with them and then punching and beating on their children. You know, I got to throw a little scripture in there. In the scripture, it says you put away childish things when you become an adult. But some of you have not learned that. You still playing childish games in a grown-up body. Isn't that right, Christopher, Katie? You want to be grown so bad, but you don't want to pay the price of being an adult. So you two cowards put your tail between your legs and got rid of this boy. I think we already know he's gotten rid of. And you know that we know, and that's the damn problem. You didn't really figure this story out right. You didn't plan it out right. Now, I give you credit. You've done good so far because you ain't been arrested. So I'm going to give you that. But the one thing we've learned about life, just because you ain't in no shackles don't mean somebody ain't on your tail and been connecting the dots. And I know that's what you're afraid of. They know we did it. Katie, they know. They know we did it. They're always talking about us on that YouTube. They're always talking about us on that YouTube. That's why you love jumping on YouTube. Shut your mouth. Because a decent human being wouldn't look at YouTube any type of way. An honest human wouldn't even waste their breath jumping and hopping on panels and pretending to be different people in the chat. Because I know your fingers get tired of changing passwords and usernames on burner phones, pretending to be Billy Joe Jack and all that old type of nonsense. But when you're bored and ain't got nothing to do and you still a child in a grown man's body, these are the games that you play. And I know Katie's sitting in the background looking at you like a damn fool. Why you keep getting on them people live streams? Why don't you stop? I know y'all like it when I role play because I do that really well. Christopher, please stop. Just leave it alone. You're just making it worse. Oh, shut up, Katie. They don't know what happened. They don't know what happened.
They don't know what type of trouble this boy was giving us. Should have been got rid of him. I just don't want to get caught. You've got to stop it. You've got to stop going in these chats and pretending to be other people. You've got to stop jumping on these live streams. They're going to catch us. You've got to stop this. Shut up, woman. I got control of this. But really you don't. Because you forgot one little thing. God is always watching. Checkmate. And that's the one person, Christopher Proudfoot, you can't control. And that's God. God sees all, and he is a way maker. He is Alpha, and he is Omega. And that's where you messed up. Because you're not a believer. Because you see, if you were a believer, we would not be talking about you on YouTube. This child would be visible, either still in your house or with Seth Rogers, or wherever you all decide to place him. But he would be alive and visible. And the fact that you would even discuss putting him in a home, let's go there. That tells me everything too. Like you're trying to tell everybody, all you have to do is pay attention to the story. That's why some of you say you like them talking, because when people talk, they tell on themselves. And you all have done that, rightfully so. When you made discussions about putting the child in a home, you were telling the story then. I don't want to be bothered with him anymore. Come on with it, quick. Hot damn. We got to put him somewhere. I'm sick of this. Why would you want him in a home? Help me understand. I'll wait. I got a lot of time. I've got nothing but time. Why would you want Sebastian Rogers in a group home for disabled children? Because usually disabled children grow up to still be disabled adults, which means he will be in a group home as an adult. And I know all about it, because as I've told you all before, I have worked with disabled adults. Men. I worked in a men's group home. And to some degree, it is sad to see a bunch of men living in a house with men they don't know, grown-ups coming in to aid them, feed them, take them on day trips, making sure they do their chores. We make their meals. We give them their meds. But there's still a loneliness to know that there's a grown man living in a house with 5 or 6 other grown men, and they're not related, and that's their home. Because mommy and daddy don't want to take care of them. I want you all to think about that. You see, anytime I speak on this network, I speak from experience, not gossip, not he said, she said, from living. You don't get that with a lot of other YouTubers. They give you fluff. I give you the real deal. They don't even know what it's like to work in a group home with disabled adults or wayward children. I've done all of that. I've worked with the men, the women, boys group home, girls group home, and those children are there for a reason, because somebody didn't want them in their house. Somebody didn't want them in their house. Either the children were wayward, wouldn't listen, stayed in trouble, or mommy and daddy just didn't want them anymore. So see, I've been on all sides of the coin in 54 years, and I can tell the story. And that's why this case is special to me, because I can give you real life details of taking care of adult men who were disabled in a group home. And to me, it's a lonely life. Whether mommy and daddy comes and visit, picks them up on the weekend, take them away for the holidays, then there's some that probably got no visitors. Nobody called to check on them. Nobody came to pick them up for a day visit, weekend visit. Because I used to work the weekend shift. And I had men at the house. Maybe one or two had relatives to come pick them up for the weekend, but the others were there 24/7. I want you to think about that. That would have been the life of Sebastian Rogers had he been placed in a group home. Well, anybody can have aggressive behavior. Children change due to hormonal issues, mental issues, family issues, school pressures. Even the nicest of a child can become aggressive. And how do we know he was aggressive? That's coming from somebody, either from Seth or Mr. Proudfoot. I don't know because I've never met Sebastian to say he was either way. Why did you all want him in a group home? Explain to the queen. You were going to just leave him there? That's why I know he's gone, you see, because you all stupidly came to YouTube and told on yourselves. That's why I always tell the fans, stop listening to the gibberish and pay attention to what's important. They have been telling you the story all along. When Nina popped up, Jane in a box, she told the story of what life was like before Sebastian ever encountered Christopher Proudfoot. And then when the Teletubby came to YouTube, he told on himself. They told on themselves by talking about this kid. Then all this gossip about CPS reports. Somebody in the chat yesterday said Seth said it was bad. I want to know what happened with that as well. So see, when you counter all this he said, she said, there's probably some truth to some of it. They abused this kid. He was scared to tell anyone. Whoever he told, it didn't go anywhere. And somebody wanted to alleviate the problem. And by alleviating the problem, there's no follow-up of a CPS report. Ding, ding, ding. What's that old saying? Even swap ain't no swindle. Can't get a version if the person ain't around. Well, if he did those things, maybe somebody was doing something to him. I don't know. See, that's the one thing you all don't seem to understand. You're repeating all this gossip from these people. You don't know what really was going on in his house. You don't know what was going on with this child as a little boy. You already heard that things were done to him as a child. So you should not be shocked at anything he would be doing at 10 years old or 12 years old. Because if nobody's talking to you and explaining things to you, what you should and should not be doing, so you don't know. You don't really know what his parents was telling him about self-exposure. Somebody has to tell you, hey, you can't do that, if that indeed happened. You have to make sure your child is getting adequate therapy, and often, not once a month, every 6 months, But at least twice a month, a child should be going to see a counselor, maybe once a week, depending on the severity of their issues. Let me tell you something. I've been a child. I had to be a child in order to get to 54. And the one thing I'm going to say, I'm not getting ready to bank on anything said by Chris and Katie. I am not. Because they don't strike me as honest individuals. They're liable to say anything. Because in the end, this child was last in the company of Katie Proudfoot. And she has allowed this monster to be in the company of her child and mistreat her child. And as I told you all, I don't doubt that she probably mistreated the boy as well, because it takes two to tango. Whether you sat idly by and watched somebody abuse your child, you are still a culprit. You are still guilty. You allow somebody to mistreat your child, you are the same. You are down with the get down. And you don't know if this woman was doing the same to this boy. Children have fear because somebody has put fear in them. Or they're just scared to talk. This is why I always tell people, why do you blame adults when they're scared to tell you things that are done to them, such as sexual assault and being beat up and hurt and verbally abused? What's the difference? Because you just assume, well, you're grown up, you should be able to talk. Well, not necessarily. People hide things all the time. People are embarrassed. They don't want people to know their little dirty secrets. That's why children grow up to become abusers, because they enact what they have been accustomed to. The very reason why we have abusers, pedophiles, sadists, because they have experienced it themselves. Now, flip side, they came from good families where they were not physically, mentally, sexually abused, and they just got a jolt out of harming people. Allegedly. Mr. Proudfoot, Mr. Proudfoot, Mr. Proudfoot. Were you home February 26th? Did you slide into your house on that Sunday, Saturday, Friday, and never told anyone? Maybe your family, maybe they know. It would not strike me, it wouldn't surprise me if it is verified that Mr. Proudfoot was in Hendersonville Friday evening on till early Monday morning. Wouldn't shock me at all. Because what I'm seeing with the Proud feet is what I see with the Wells. The man is the orchestrator, the head knocker of the family. What he says goes. So they don't trust the women to talk because they know the women will fuck it up. Am I correct, Mr. Proudfoot, Mr. Wells? You don't want the woman to talk because you know she's going to fuck it up. So you've got to be there to talk to make sure she keeps the story straight. That's why Candace couldn't do an interview, run off the stage with Dr. Phil, because she can't hold the lie. Hot damn. I can't keep doing this, Christopher. I just can't do it. Okay. I'll talk for you. You can't talk because you know something. Who the hell got a whole child missing and can't talk to the news? I didn't tell you to go get a sleeping bag and a pillow and spend the night at the damn news station, but just tell us what you did that day, that weekend. You didn't even lay it out to tell us what the day was like. That's why I know it's bullshit. Candace did the same thing. Come on, Queen, bring it on home. I can read a fool a mile away. I've had 50 plus years of experience. When a person ducks around the tale, the story, it's bullshit. That's why they tell you when you go to court, you got to tell what exactly happened. Don't tell me what you did 2 hours before. You tell me what happened at that moment. Because the court can't sit and listen to you spin a web for 2 hours. So you got to get to the point. See, that's what y'all been doing with the news. You ain't really told the whole story. Ain't that right, Candace? You didn't tell the news, oh, by the way, I got up at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock that morning. Then I went to the hospital and dropped my mama off. Then I went and picked up a little boy I didn't have no business picking up. And then we rode around the city and we drunk twisted tea and blah, blah, blah. You ain't tell none of that to the news. That's why we were trying to tell the news people, you ain't got the full story. She telling you when she got home. Well, we don't even got proof the little girl made it home. Kind of like Sebastian. Come on with it, Queen. You start the story at, I heard a bump in the room. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you and Candace had been talking and talking on the phone or messenger. Am I right? Oh, because I don't mind being wrong. I may come off as a narcissist sometimes, my damn self. But hey, correct me. I sure don't mind. If I didn't know better, all y'all done sat at the round table together and swapped secrets. Shut your mouth. Capital letter S, Summer. Capital letter S, Sebastian. Last time seen with the mama, Candace. Last seen with the mama, Katie. Ooh, you can't tell me the universe ain't working. And everybody spins the story that don't make no sense. I had to help my mama with the leg brace, and I told my sons to watch their sister, and they said okay. And then I left my mama and went over to my house, and then I yelled for Summer, and I said, Summer, Summer. I knew she was lying right then. Summer. Hello, John. Hello, friend. John, you got to call me on IG. Summer. First time I heard her say that, I said, this heifer is lying. You ain't called Summer name, because more than likely Summer didn't even make it back to the ranch. Shut your mouth. Even when you listen to the experts, they will tell you it's heavily worded. It's heavily worded. Same with Katie Proudfoot. I heard a thump. What you doing in there? Cut it out. Go to bed. Got to go to school in the morning. Okay. Well, damn, Katie, I got a feeling that what Sebastian got a doppelganger, because I don't think it kind of went like that. I kind of think at some point you and Christopher sat down at the round table and you concocted this story of a thump in the bedroom. And Christopher told you what to say because you act like you ain't got no damn sense. Only part of the story that's probably the truth is that you sat on the phone with your husband for 2 hours. That might be the only part of the story that's the truth. You sat on that phone so you all could get this story correct. Am I correct? Same thing with Candace Bly. You and Don came up with this cockamamie story planting flowers, and she went downstairs, and I went down and looked everywhere. I couldn't find her. So then you can't tell if the door was open, door closed, door locked, door unlocked. Well, which is it? And you know what's the interesting part about these stories? Because that's what they are. They're tall tales. Each mother had the child out all day. All day. Colossal size of popcorn. I've never heard anyone use that word before. Colossal. Shut up, Angela. Okay, I'll behave. Colossal size of popcorn. She went on in mommy's house for a piece of candy. Do you all see this semblance? I'm woke. I thank God for this discerning spirit. I wish I would use it at the times I'm supposed to use it. But as I said, I'm also a work in progress. Every mama had their child out all day. Frankly, the children should be alive because you had them out all damn day. They should be sleepy. They should be tired. And just poof, out of the blue, a 5-year-old disappears at a dilapidated house in the middle of nowhere. And then a 15-year-old who ain't known to wander or run away, he just disappears. And yet, this is the bullshit you always spin to the news and the masses, and then want to judge us and tell us it's something wrong with us because we talking about it. No, you put this bullshit out here. So if you want to get mad at somebody, you'll get mad at your damn self. It ain't about YouTube. It ain't about Facebook. It ain't about TikTok. You'll put this mess to the universe. So if you want to get mad at somebody, you get mad at your damn self. Because I didn't tell you to go out here and get rid of your child and then go cry wolf to the sheriff's department. And Candy, you told on yourself in the news interview where you said, I don't wander around. There's bears and coyotes. Well, wait a minute. She ain't asked you nothing about wandering around. What is she talking about? Ding, ding, ding. Because it's called sober thoughts. It's called sober thoughts. It's just like a drunk. When I'm sober, I know to keep my mouth closed. When I'm drunk, I say any damn thing. And that's what Candy did. She was telling you, I fucked up on that 911 call and said I left the property. Now I'm talking to the news. I better clarify just in case they have already heard the 911 call and know that I left the property. Checkmate. And that damn news lady, she didn't catch that. But if she's been following YouTube, she knows the 411. That heifer left the property, but she didn't tell me that in my news interview with her. You messed up, Candace. That's why you cleared it up during that news interview. I don't wander around. Because that's what you told the dispatch. I took a run. You took a run where? Because I've been back there. And I know you ain't ran nowhere, you ain't walked nowhere. So what you meant to say is, I got in my car and went to the store, I went to the Piggly Wiggly, I went to the convenience store, I went to the Dollar General. I know how long it took me and Sue driving back there just for us to make it to town to get to the damn Dollar Tree. I felt like we had traveled to New York. I said, my God, how long it took to get back out in here to get to fucking civilization. Round and round, round and round, round and round. I couldn't live in no place like that. I remember when we were sitting on the side of the road and this white guy pulled up in a truck. He backed that truck up beside us. And I thought, oh, Lord, hope we ain't in no trouble. And he's looking and I said, yeah, we're just sitting here trying to get directions. He saw that out-of-state tag on that truck we were in. See, people watch everything. And so I went on and asked about Summer. Got him on out the way. We made small talk. And then he drove on down the road and out of the way. He's like, yeah, I live around here. I live right down the road. And I was looking. When we turned that truck around, I never saw that truck once we drove back down the road. See, there's always an eye in the sky. I keep trying to tell y'all that. Always somebody lurking and looking. And frankly, I don't like being back in them parts because I'm a little dark, if you get my drift. I don't want to sit in the car. I don't want to walk. I don't want to be doing nothing unless I'm parking in your driveway and getting in your damn house. Because I don't need no hillbilly walking up to me talking about, Missy, you lost. And I end up like somewhere else. Checkmate. Ain't no black folks back in them parts. That's why I know some ain't just disappeared. Because I'd have been back there. And I live here in East Tennessee. And I know how these white people navigate down here. And the rule is the same for all of us here. Ain't nobody rambling around on your property. Did you hear what I said? Especially in those backwood places. You know better. Even if you're a white person, you know better. You know not to be hanging around a driveway, going up the driveway, foot, car, donkey. Because you know you might be laying face down. And ain't nobody gonna know because they could take you, hide you, put you in a wood chipper, and nobody know your ass was back there. See, this is what I love about a fool. They always trying to play you like you're crazy and you don't know nothing. Now, see, the whales can spin this bullshit on some city-fied folks who ain't never been back in these backwood places. But Queen can tell it because Queen lives here. Ain't nobody white, black, Asian, Mexican, Jew going back there looking for a kid. Did I make myself clear? Nobody. You couldn't even see their house from where we stood at the edge of the driveway. The other driveways, you couldn't see nobody's house. So nobody was just riding around. I gotta find me a kid. I gotta find me a little girl. I gotta find me a little boy. And guess what? She looked like a boy. So like I said, if somebody was stalking the house, they were into little boys. Bingo card. I'm woke. Are you woke? She looked like a little boy. Yeah, Candace, you shaved all her hair off, remember? Because she had been messing with her hair. One minute it's cooties, the next minute she cut her hair, then I finished it off. The next version was, well, she wanted to look like Candace. Well, which version is the truth? Because you done told 3 different versions. I keep trying to tell everybody, all you got to do, let them talk. Then it changed the story 3 times, but why the little girl head was shaved. Some of you thought the mama was jealous of the little girl. I say yes. Why would a little girl want to look like you, Candace, with no hair? Pretty little white girl, beautiful eyes, beautiful skin, beautiful hair. And you just shave it down low. She want to look like her mama. Well, her mama look like a man, so what the hell you saying? You want the little girl to look like a boy. A boy dressed in a dress. Uh-huh. boy dressed in a dress. So if some pedophile walking around, lurking around your property, he looking at a boy. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how you'll hear a horrible story of a child missing, no resolution, and then time will go by, years later, you hear another story of a child missing, same state, and you start comparing the two because they sound eerily similar. What are the odds? One part of Tennessee, a child goes missing at the age of 5, a girl, and then a 15-year-old boy goes missing hours away, and they're both similar. Why is that? Maybe somebody had been listening to the Summer Wells story. Katie, you knew better. You and Crispy Critter, as Little Red would call. You had to have known that law enforcement was going to check to see if you had cameras at your house, neighbors' houses behind you, and beside you, and across the street. Why in the world would you spin this web that this boy possibly walked out of the house, knowing the average American has doorbell cameras? Help me understand. Help me understand. Well, they take white people too. White people get missing all the time. Hey, Little Red, I want to put this back in the chat. You're welcome to hit that link. I got time today. I want to make sure I went live early so I could get this off my chest. There's an update pertaining to Celeste Rivas. I will do a live about that later. David is a suspect in the disappearance of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. I keep trying to tell you all, you got to let God do his job. See, a lot of you aren't believers, so you don't understand what it's like to have faith in God. God ain't about to let his children not get justice when there's foul play. That's why I don't fret in any of these stories. I just say, hold on. Just hold on. TBI FBI has been to a residence, the 3500 block of Van Hill Road in Greenville, Tennessee. The house is 9.5 miles from the Wells residence. They are giving us this information. Thank you very much, local authorities, federal government. Is this relevant to the Summer Wells case? Did this child make it to this residence? Was she taken there as a holding spot? Or was she taken there, sold? Many of you have different ideologies of what happened to Summer Wells. What is the relevancy of this said house? The link is in the chat. If you want to hit this link and come up and give your opinion pertaining to this new information of this house being searched. Somebody in the chat says it's Mr. Fred Hill's uncle's house. Don't know if that's true or not. And the second part of the slide is pertaining to Mr. Christopher Proudfoot. Was he in Hendersonville, February 26, 27? Did he ever go to his home? Did he lie to the news and police that he was out of town? 3 hours and 37 minutes from door to door, Memphis, Tennessee, St. Jude Hospital to Hendersonville, Tennessee. What is the truth? Hit that link if you want to give your public opinion. Does Fred have anything to do with this crime pertaining to Summer Wells? Something you thought he did? That he was lurking about. Kids allegedly said some guy was on the property, but you don't know if that's true because that once again is Donald Wells' version. And as I said before, I'm leery of anybody spinning a web that was not at the residence allegedly. And I won't doubt that Donald Wells was at that house too. It's going to be interesting if we find out both men were at their houses when they said that they were not. You don't know what's the truth. And he's another one, sat up on YouTube, calling people the N-word, cursing, jumping in and out of chats, pretending to be somebody else. And here comes Christopher Proudfoot following in Donald Wells' footsteps. I find it very ironic that these two white men act very similar. They both have potty mouths. They're both vulgar. And they both want to spin the story about the children disappearing, which is baffling when you were not there allegedly. Very good point, Little Red. Who tells it? Who tells it minute for minute? Very true, because many people don't estimate how long it takes. You'd only tell that if you drove that distance and somebody asks you, like, well, how far is your job to your house? And you say, oh, it's 3 hours and 36 minutes, 37 minutes. Oh, okay. Because they've rehearsed it, that's why. They've rehearsed it. This is a rehearsed crime. And I believe the same for Summer Wells. Because each person is playing dumb about the kid. The stories sound made up. The men are doing all the talking. The men can't stay off of social media. There's a reason people jump on social media. They have a point to prove. You should not care about what people think when your child is missing. That should be your only objective, is finding your child. You should not be worrying about what people are saying. It's the same thing with reality TV stars. First thing they tell you, stay off the blogs, stay off of social media. Quit reading what the people are saying about you. Don't worry about what they're saying about you. Well, nobody would be talking about you if you weren't on a reality TV show. That's just common sense. Nobody knew nothing about your fucking business until you got on a reality TV show. So when you put your business out there, hell yeah, people are going to talk. Now they can respond. The only people that will know are the people in your small town where you live. That's it. So this is kind of like reality TV. You put this story to print. So you have nobody to blame but yourselves. This story was going to be on the news, whether it was Facebook, internet, don't matter. You created this nonsense, as Seth said. And he had every right to say what he said. You put me in this place. Why he didn't get his son, I don't know. But as I said, Seth has to grapple with that every day. Why he didn't go get his boy. And that's a hell of a burden to carry. Why did not get him in time? Can't go back. Can't go back. Calling Christopher Proudfoot. Calling Christopher Proudfoot. Where were you? Christopher Proudfoot. Will the real Christopher Proudfoot please stand? Where were you, sir? Were you at your house in the general area? I want to know. Same thing with Donald Wells. I want to know. Were you at your house? Everybody telling tall tales. And their children still missing. Little girl missing 4.5 years. Who would believe this? Hit that link. Make this live count. I'm not going to stay on here 3 hours like I've been doing. So hit that link and help this content go viral. Nothing but vast land on this Van Hill Road. Nothing but vast land. Did Summer Wells make it to that address? 35. What was it? 37 Van Hill Road. What's the relevancy of TBI, FBI going to this house? Have they searched it? Who lives there? Do the Wells know this house? Have they been there? What's the relevancy? I'm going to play this update pertaining to Summer Wells for those just coming in the chat. 2-part live, everybody. 2-part live. This was supposed to be about Christopher Proudfoot, but then I saw the update pertaining to Summer, so I decided to put them both in the same live stream. The next live stream will be about Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Thank you for joining me. The source is WJHL TV 11 if you're curious.
Tells us TBI and FBI searched in the area this past week in the continued search for Summer Wells. It's our breaking news tonight.
It's been more than 4 years since Summer Wells was last seen. The then 5-year-old was reported missing from her home in the Beach Creek community in Hawkins County.
There's been no sign of the little girl since, and law enforcement from several agencies have worked countless tips over the years. News Channel 11's Ansley Daniels spoke with TBI, who says the case is far from cold. Ansley?
Yeah, Sarah and Casey, there have been more questions than answers since Summer Wells disappeared from her home in Hawkins County on June 15th of 2021. But today, the TBI confirmed that their agents, along with the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI, continue to investigate what happened to Summer. They say that last week, on November 13th, their agents, along with detectives, were at a location in the 3500 block of Van Hill Road in Greenville, following up on a lead in the case. That's about 9.5 miles from the Wells family home on Ben Hill Road via State Route 347. And we followed up with the TBI, asking if they could provide details about the nature of the tip, if anything substantiated from it, and how long it had been since their agents followed up on a lead like this in the field. The spokesperson couldn't tell us those details, but said that agents follow up on leads as they come in, and the investigation remains active and ongoing. Now, this is the first update outside of law enforcement sharing age-progressed photos and ensuring the case is not cold and that they haven't forgotten about Summer. We also reached out to the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, Ronnie Lawson, and have yet to hear back from him or his office. It's important to note, though, that there is still an active Amber Alert for Summer, and no one has been arrested or charged in connection to her disappearance.
WJHL TV 11 is the source. Hit that link. Make this live count. You have an opinion pertaining to where Christopher Proudfoot was February 26, 27? Hit that link. You have an opinion pertaining to Summer Wells, the update of them searching this home? Hit the link and give your opinion. I'd like to hear from somebody today. I went live early just so I could make sure you all would have a chance to give your opinion pertaining to this latest development of the child. Information pertaining to Summer Wells. Thank you very much. No takers. 45 viewing and no takers. Well, shut your mouth. Ebony, Little Red, Mumbleweed, Pebbles, Brooke, Mr. John, Galactic TE, all you all in the chat, nobody wants to jump up here and tell the Queen what they think of the Summer Wells update? Now. Why you cleaning the bathroom? Girl, stop. All right. Was Mr. Proudfoot in the area, Hendersonville, Tennessee? Did Katie take this child and meet with him, and he took the child somewhere, unalived this boy child? Or any of his relatives involved in taking the child off somewhere? Some of you have mentioned that over the past year and a half. It is sad that we are at a point of almost 2 years that this child went missing. He should be living his best life, teenage life, having friends, going places, going to school functions, having friends over, taking trips, traveling, going abroad, doing things that normal teenagers do. But he has not been afforded that opportunity, nor has Summer Wells. She should be living her best life as a girl child. But this is what happens when children are in the company of people who don't want them or do right by them. They're raised by misfits. Many of us have had misfit parents, possibly grew up to be misfits ourselves, and didn't do right by our own children. This is why the cycle needs to stop. Stop procreating. You want to go out here and be a fuck up on your own? Knock yourself out. But do not bring an innocent child into your chaos. It is not a joke to have your children look at you, make a donkey's ass out of yourself. You want to pop pills, smoke fentanyl, heroin, knock yourself out. Do it by yourself. You want to have 50,000 girlfriends, boyfriends? Don't have kids. You want to stay up all night, getting drunk, getting high? Don't have kids. You want to party all night, hang in the bars? Don't have kids. You got mental issues. You got empathy issues. You're selfish. Don't have kids. We as people, we have to start thinking. Use our heads, the ones between our ears, not the crotch. We have too many children who are with misfits. The parents don't want them, don't care about them, won't feed them, won't clothe them, won't kiss them, won't love on them, won't pat them on the back, won't take them nowhere, won't teach them nothing, don't read to them, nothing. Just push them out and let them run around like they're wild animals. No, don't work like that. Children need direction, they need structure. I'm not saying be a tyrant, army sergeant, but children need direction. They need to be taught manners. They need to be loved. They need to be nurtured. They need to be cared for. They need to be fed. They need to be clothed. They need a clean environment. And every time you look up, you're hearing a horrible story of a child abused, neglected, molested, living in a house filled with roaches and bed bugs and filth and fecal matter. What the fuck is wrong with you people? You want to live like that? You want to live in a trailer with no water, no heat, no air? Knock yourself out. You don't need no children. You want to choose a man over your kid? Then go place your kid somewhere else. You know, it's a shame to be laying up, getting all these different men and husbands and choosing them over your damn kids. Because guess what, sugar pie? He gonna get tired of your ass and he'll leave you and go find him somebody else. And then what? What you got? What you got? Just your kitty cat. Stop thinking with your crotch. I get it. Everybody gets lonely, wants companionship, wants sex, but there has to be more in the world than sex. Touching and fondling and turning tricks. You got to love yourself. You got to think, I got to care more for myself. And when you have children, you have to think of your children first. Can't have every time Dick and Harry running in your house, smoking and chiefing, your baby smelling like marijuana. Yeah, I'm going there today because I'm sick of these people walking around smelling a newborn, smelling like fucking weed. Kids going to school smelling like marijuana. Everybody always want to brag about marijuana. Ain't nothing wrong with smoking marijuana. And it is something wrong with smoking marijuana. Your fucking kids smell like marijuana. The fuck you talking about? How the hell a newborn look smelling like fucking marijuana? Then you get mad when somebody calls VHS and say, well, he come to school, he smelling like weed. That's on you. You chose that. And I see it every day. Everybody chiefing and chiefing and chiefing and got kids in their house. I don't even want marijuana on my own clothes. I tell people now, you grown. You can't just walk in people's house, want to smoke weed. They don't smoke weed. What you going in there smoking weed for? Cigarettes, they go for cigarettes too. Just walk in people's house, light up. Don't even care. That's what's wrong with everybody. Ain't nobody got no damn manners anymore. You want to smoke weed? Smoke it at your own damn house. How about that? I'm on one. I'm sick of these stories. I'm sick of hearing about these kids. Right now, we got a young girl missing here in Knoxville, Tennessee. I got the notification today. Pretty young lady, 17 years of age, worked at Wingstop on Chapman Highway. If you have any information pertaining to this African-American female, please call the Knoxville Police Department, Crime Stoppers. She's missing for a week. Where is this child? Lord have mercy. To get her name. We live in a bad, bad society. Maybe she's goofing off with some friends somewhere. Okay. They got her here. I don't see her name. Wait a minute, everybody. I'm trying to get this girl's name. Channel 6 News is the source of this information. 17-year-old Nicole Williams is missing, according to the Knoxville Police Department. Williams was last seen at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, November 12th, leaving work at Wingstop on Chapman Highway. She was last seen wearing her work clothes, including a black Nike jacket, black and green shirt, black pants, black visor, black slides, according to police. If you have any information pertaining to Ms. Williams, please contact the East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers. There are multiple ways you can provide anonymous information to Crime Stoppers. You can dial 865-215-7165 or asterisk 2 times tips and go online. www.easttennesseevalleycrimesstoppers.org, all lowercase, via the free mobile app P3 Tips or the East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers Facebook page. Tipsters can remain anonymous and are eligible to receive a cash reward. Where is this girl? 17 years of age, left her job, Wingstop. Was she walking? Was she catching the bus? How did she get from the Wingstop restaurant? I wish you all could have been more descriptive. Did she get in a car? Did somebody pick her up? What do the security cameras reveal? Did she leave on foot? Was somebody walking with her? Nicole Williams, if you can hear this live stream, please contact your family to let them know that you are okay. If somebody knows Nicole Williams and you know where she can be found, please call the Knoxville Police Department or the Crime Stoppers and let them know where she can be located. If you can talk to her, please tell her to call somebody to let them know that she is okay. Lord have mercy, the devil's a liar. That's the latest, everybody. 3500 block of Van Hill Road. What is the relevancy of this house pertaining to Summer Wells? Do the Wells know these people that live in this house? Did somebody just buy this house? Did somebody just move in, move out? What is the relevancy of this search? And part two of this matter is pertaining to Mr. Christopher Proudfoot. He is the stepfather to Sebastian Rogers. Mr. Proudfoot, where were you February 26th and the 27th? Were you in the Hendersonville general area? Do you know where this child can be located, found, and or recovered? Did you pay somebody to keep this child? Did you sell this child, or did you unalive this child with your wife, Katie Proudfoot? When are you all going to come off this bullshit about this kid? The father is angry. He is bitter, as he should be. He wants to know where he can find his child. I believe you and your wife hold the key to where this child can be located. And it is time you tell the truth. It is obvious you did not take care of him well. You did not care for him, you or your wife. So let's end this charade, because it's time to end this nonsense. Well, maybe you did. As I said, I won't doubt they all sat down at a round table, all four of them. Nothing would shock me at this point. And I won't doubt there are other people that know exactly where Sebastian is, because we have learned that people cannot hold water and they confess their sins to others. And sadly, we have sacks of shit walking around holding the key to where people can be found, where they can be located. They know of a crime committed and they refuse to tell the truth. They wait 10, 15, 30 years to confess. Why are you waiting that long? How do you sleep knowing that somebody murdered somebody and they stupidly told you, and you're going to stupidly hold the secret? You're just as guilty. I'm not going to sit here and walk around knowing you want to lie somebody, a kid, and I'm just going to still continue being your friend, your husband, wife, whatever. Hell no. I don't want to sleep with no damn killer. That's why I keep trying to tell you, you don't know people. And you keep hearing these stories of people doing these documentaries, telling the host of the show, yeah, he told me one night we were in the bed, he killed his wife, he killed this lady, he strangled this woman, he strangled this girl, and you laying in that bed with him and you still having sex with him, knowing he killed a woman, killed his wife, last wife, third wife, second wife. Oh, hell no. Because if he could strangle her, he could strangle you. There ain't no way in the world I'm going to sit here and think a man can't kill me and he didn't kill another woman. Come on now. But you got people out here who just think with their crotch. That's all they care about. It's a ding ding. Ding ding and woo ha. Oh, I'm in love with her. I love her. She wouldn't do that to me. I love him. He means the world to me. Honey, you can get ding dong anywhere. You can get woo ha anywhere. You got to love yourself. You got to say, I'm worthy. I'm worth more than this. Why would you want to carry that secret around? And I don't care if it's a relative, a friend, a child, you should not carry that burden of knowing somebody is dead and the people have their relatives, friends, community looking for them, and you sitting there holding the secret with the killer. And sadly, these people don't get no time in prison when they finally decide to come forward and tell, oh yeah, he told me one night at a bar, he choked that lady, he choked some young girl. And you just sitting there, he hawing it up over some beer. Then you want to wait 5 years, 15 years to go tell somebody. Want to call Dateline, want to call the police, the FBI. Oh yeah, I want to tell you about Joe Paul. He told me he choked this girl 10 years ago. You're sick. You're just as sick as the person that did the crime. Don't hold that secret. Don't hold somebody else's secret because you are just as guilty as if you committed the crime yourself. Think more of yourself to free yourself of that burden. That is a burden you should not want to carry. And the person that told you the secret, they don't care nothing about you because only a fool would tell another person they unalive somebody. What makes you think they ain't getting ready to go run tell the police? And most people might fear for their safety. That's why they don't tell. But hey, I would tell it. Because I don't want to be in your company thereafter knowing you unalive somebody. Because if you did it to them, you could do it to me. Where is Summer Wells? Is she alive or is she deceased? If she's deceased, is she in the general area of her home, Greenville, North Carolina? Where is she? Sebastian Roberts, where is he? Is he alive? Is he deceased? Was he unalived by his mother and stepfather? Unalived by the mother, but the stepfather knows. Is he in the general area of Hendersonville or is he outside of the Tennessee jurisdiction? Who holds the key to where this boy can be found? I think we know that each story is similar and that the parents are involved in the disappearance of these children. They know exactly where these children are. And they have been lying to law enforcement and they have no inkling to tell the truth. And as I have said before in my commentary, there is no logical reason to unalive a child. And if you are at a point where you cannot handle your child, you don't want your child, you need to hand your child over to the state or to a family member, a friend, and do the right thing. But don't beat your child, hurt your child, unalive your child. And I think a lot of you know you're not cut out to be a parent, and that's okay. But hurting your child is not going to solve your problem. Killing your child isn't going to solve the problem. You have now created a new problem because somebody is going to come a knocking and inquiring about your child, your children. We live in a sad world where people just don't give a fuck about anything. And they are usually the ones who bear children. And why these people continue to have children is a mystery to me. You didn't want your first one, but now you got another one. Now you got another one. Now you got another one. 4 or 5 kids, and you didn't want to have the first child. Living in squalor, abusing your kids, allowing other people to abuse your kids. Don't send your kids to school. Don't feed them. Don't clothe them. No nurturing, no love, no nothing. Children walking around, can't talk, comatose, malnourished, walking around with diseases and scabies and all type of nonsense, all because you too ornery to close your legs. Enough of this. Hell, I'm just gonna say they need a new campaign. Just say no to sex. Just say no. And if I was a judge and I came across a severe case of child abuse, whether you were a woman or a man, you were found guilty in court of law, I would have it ordered that you have your private parts removed and or sewed up. Have your vagina sewed up, your wee-wee removed. I'm not talking about castrating and cutting the testicles. No, 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 no. Take it all off. You can use the bathroom through a bag. You want to know cruelty? You got to empty your bowels, urine through a bag. Every day you get to look down at your private part if you're able to have a mirror in prison and see nothing downtown. Nothing. Maybe even remove your damn arms and legs. That sounds cruel. No more cruel than you abusing your child, killing your kid. Why should you have the luxury to still wake up, see, hear, have sexual desires, talk? Why should you have any amenity after you have abused your child? Hello, Buffalo. You don't get to have any amenities. You have abused your child. Maybe that's what needs to happen when you go before the judge and they find you guilty of child abuse. Just remove parts of your body. You can just sit in a room and stare. Be cruel, wouldn't it? I don't deserve to get my arms removed. I don't deserve to get my legs cut off, my feet cut off. I don't deserve to get my woo-ha sewed up, get my penis removed. Why not? Maybe we're being too kind to citizens who abuse and kill children. Because that's what determines you being a man or a woman, having your breasts and a vagina. And a man has a penis and testicles. Maybe just have a surgeon remove all of it. Remove one of your arms, your legs. And every day you can sit and think of why you're missing these body parts. And I know it sounds cruel, but you have to think about it. Is it cruel? Is it cruel to take away somebody's private parts after they beat up a kid, abused a kid, sexually molested a kid, penetrated a kid? Why should you walk around with your body parts? You done rape the kid, rape the baby. What? Beat up your child. It's hard to even listen at the stuff they say in court. How do you beat a 6-month-old, a 9-month-old baby? Beat a toddler. A toddler can't even fight. A toddler don't even stand that tall from the ground, and you beating that kid, throwing the kid up against a wall. But I'm supposed to not feel, I'm supposed to just say, oh yeah, well, give him life in prison, 25 years, and still have a chance for a parole. No ma'am. No ma'am, no sir. What the fuck is 25 years if you commit a crime at 22? Even at 30, you still getting out to a life. Walk out of prison free. So you can go out here and meet somebody else and go find and beat up their child. No. You should have the luxury of walking out of nowhere. And it's time for these judges to stop giving bond to anyone accused of child abuse. If it is vagrant, visual abuse, there should be no bond, no bail. They should be sentenced to life. You starved your child was found emaciated. Hell no. No 20, 30 years, and they have a chance of coming out and walking out of prison. I don't care if they can walk out at 70. Hell no. Die in there. You should not get the luxury to walk free so you can terrorize some damn body else. Giving children back to their parents after they've been found guilty of abusing a child. You remove the child from their care, and then you let them give them a criteria, and then they follow the criteria, and then they cry and moan, I want my baby back. I want my baby back. And you stupidly let them get their child back from a relative or foster care. Hell no. Very reason why Mr. Harrell has pled guilty to beating up his kid. He done it before already to a little girl. She can't even see, can't even walk. You weren't supposed to let him out of jail the first time. The hell is wrong with these judges? You all act like y'all stupid. You're just stupid. What gives you the right to free somebody after they done put a child down like a rabid dog? Little girl ain't got no kind of life. Somebody got to take care of her until she passes away. She can't even see. She can't walk. She can't do nothing. But he gets to go free to do it again to another baby. Now he's sitting up in court crying, pleading guilty to what? 2nd-degree murder. Nah, ain't no 2nd degree. It's murder in my books because you already done it before. You like beating up children. So that means you got some sick fascination with harming children. Why? Because your mom and daddy used to beat you up. So then you grow up and say, well, I'll beat mine. This is what's walking around out here. You think about that every day. You get in your car, you drive by people on the street, you drive by people in the fast lane, the slow lane, you going into the grocery store, you're speaking to people in the grocery store, you're looking at the woman pushing a buggy with 5, 6 kids, you're looking at the woman carrying her newborn in her arm, carrying the newborn on her back. You don't know what she doing to that baby when she get home. Just like I don't know what you doing to your baby and your kids. You yelling and screaming and hollering at your kids. You calling them nasty names. And I see people do it every day. talk to their kids like dogs in the grocery store. Stop it, damn it. Didn't I tell you stop it, little motherfucker? Didn't I say stop it? You already know what's getting ready to happen to that kid. He ain't gonna have no self-esteem. She ain't gonna have no self-esteem. They're gonna be getting into trouble. They're gonna be breaking the law. They're gonna be smoking, chiefing, using drugs, popping pills, and then they're gonna repeat the cycle. They don't get any help. Because this is why it's a continued cycle of abuse. Children born away with parents, and their parents were wayward, and their parents were wayward, and then everybody just keeps on baby making, and then passing the kid from Joe to Paul to Susie to Mabel. It's just a vicious cycle. Mama and daughter on Facebook dropping it like it's hot with halter tops on and breasts hanging out and ass cheeks in front of the camera, just so nasty ass heathens. And everybody think that's cute. And then you see the little baby, she a toddler, she dropping it like it's hot. That ain't cute. Ain't no little girl need to be guy raped in front of no camera. And here go these folks, because black folks got that bad with them little kids. Go girl, go girl, go. Go mama, go. Go mama, go. Go mama my ass. Ain't no little girl need to be popping her butt and crotch in front of a camera and she a baby. You see the old women doing it. That ain't cute. 50 years old and you got Daisy Dukes on and got your ass cheeks hanging out dancing in front of the camera. Go mama, go mama, go granny, go granny, go granny, go, go granny, go. All y'all need your asses whooped. I try my best not to even laugh at folks that do all that. Ass popping in front of the camera because it's not cute. I don't care if you're 20, I don't care if you're 50. I don't want to see your ass cheeks. I don't want to see your vagina. I don't want to see your breasts. Just like I uploaded content to the Newsbreak app, feel free to go over to that app. You'll see where I uploaded content from months ago where I was in the little chicken wing place and this woman was standing in front of me, all her ass cheek out, cut off shorts. Oh yeah, I filmed it. And I got a lot of views because it's showing you how messed up society is. And I can't even enjoy being out, having a drink, eating, for looking at your ass in my face. And then she thinks she turned around and said, oh, excuse me, because she and the other girl were popping, locking, bending over. People don't want to see that. The guys might like it, but it's not cute to me. Because I don't want to be sipping on a margarita or eating a chicken wing and seeing your ass cheek in my face. But this is the world that we are in. And these are the same old heathens raising children. And then their children grow up and act the same damn way. That's why young girls are so provocative now. They're 12, 13, walking around with 12 shades of eyeshadow and eyeliner on and fake eyelashes, looking like Snuffleupagus by the face. You ain't cute. Glitter eyeshadow. Where you going looking like that? Too tight pants and leggings on, breasts hanging out, no bra. Want to be a video vixen, I guess. We have problems right now in this world. Not just America, but the world in general. Everybody wants to mimic other people. Nobody wants to be genuine and be himself or herself. Everybody wants to mimic somebody else. Somebody wants what somebody else got. That's what's wrong with us. We can't be original. And that's why our children are wayward, because they are mimicking what they see at home, in the streets, at school, TV, videos. Everybody wants to be like somebody else. Nobody wants to be him or her. You're getting your nose done, your ears done, your face done. You're getting butt lifts, butt tucks, stomach tucks. Nobody's original. And then you wonder why the children act the way they do. And then they grew up to be wayward adults. And then we talk about them and make videos about them on YouTube. This is why. Because there's nobody to care for them and rear them properly. Nobody's teaching the child to be original. You ain't got to look like nobody else. You ain't got to sound like nobody else. You got a little speech impediment. Okay. You stutter. Okay. You disabled. Okay. You still a child of God. You're a child of God first. Just like I was telling people at the place where I was living. You know it's wrong to give a disabled adult drugs. You know somebody is mentally slow and you're going to give them crack cocaine or fentanyl or heroin. You don't care. You just want the money. You share the drugs with a person you know mentally slow. Why would you do that? Giving them beer, still wrong. I had to tell somebody that. Why are you giving this person any type of drug or alcohol when you see they have a mental problem, schizophrenic? They don't need no drugs. They don't need no alcohol. They don't need no weed. But this is where we are in the world. Nobody cares about a damn thing. Everybody is just floating along. Fuck them. I don't care. Fuck it. I don't care. And that's what you have with these children here. They were with spiteful people who eradicated them. And I believe that in my spirit with Summer and also Sebastian. And I hate that Seth is pining away for his child. He's want this child to be alive so badly. But as I have said before in my commentary, look where he was living. Why would he be somewhere better if he's alive? He wouldn't be. He would be with the same ratchet type ass motherfuckers who wouldn't give a damn about his livelihood. And that woman wouldn't pay $1 for somebody to keep her son. What would be the point when he got a whole father? Now some will say, well, Angie, she might have gave him to somebody paid to keep him just to spite Seth. No, she wanted to be done with that boy. She don't want no memory. She don't want nobody calling to ask no questions, ask for extra money, nothing. Done. Finito. No more. It's a wrap. Katie wanted out. Christopher wanted out. They got rid of that boy. And no way in my spirit, I believe that law enforcement thinks that possibly he's alive. They know they got rid of that child, and they probably didn't told them to their face. Christopher ain't getting ready to get on a live stream and tell you that. Oh yeah, the police said they think we got rid of this boy. Hell, now he ain't gonna tell you that. And the Wells ain't gonna tell you that either. That's the very reason why Candace don't want to do no interviews. She know she can't sit with a straight face and tell you what actually happened that summer day. She can't tell you nothing. That's the truth. And Katie can't either. All that make-believe, snuffling and sniffling. I was surprised when they did that interview a few months ago that she even had anything of Sebastian still in her damn house. I could see everything thrown away, bed thrown out, room empty. Because you can best believe, eventually, there ain't going to be nothing in a room that belongs to Sebastian Rogers at that Proudfoot house. Do you understand what I'm saying? Nothing. And I would say the same for Summer's home. They have probably gotten rid of all of their children's belongings, clothes, toys, games, because they are never getting their children back. The boys are formally in the state's care. And they did that to themselves because they didn't do what they needed to do to get them back. This is why I keep trying to tell you all, you have to pay attention to what these stupid people have told the public. They had no intention of getting them back because they ain't never raised the kids that they had before they met each other. And you see Christopher and Katie, they ain't trying to have a newborn. She ain't getting ready to lay up and have another baby and birth a baby, push a baby at her age, chasing behind a toddler, not Katie. And Christopher, he sure ain't gonna do it. Hell, he don't even stay at the house to be nurturing no damn kid. These people are empty vessels. And the universe brought them together and made them one. Made them one. Satan has been using both of these couples for a very long time. And if you don't believe in the devil, have mercy on your soul, because you have been looking at Satan's work right in front of you. The universe brought the Wells together, Candace and Dawn, because they were of a like mind. They both had the same similar past, and they became one, evenly yoked in madness. That is why they don't have not one child and didn't raise their other children before they even met each other. Christopher Proudfoot had trauma before he met Katie. Katie had trauma before she met Chris. They met together because the universe linked them and they became one. And then years later, a whole child disappeared into the night. I'm woke. I've been woke a mighty long time. I was woke before I knew of Summer Wells' case, and I was woke before I knew of this Sebastian Rogers case. I know people, and the one thing I know about people is that they are predictable. Do you understand what I'm saying? Nothing that you have heard is by accident. Pertaining to the Wells and their children, Katie and Chris and Sebastian. Everything was by unique design and purposeful. There is no accident. Everything done is intentional and with malice. And if you don't see that, there is something wrong with you. There is no love in either case. That is why you have children gone and in the state's care. These people have been crying out to the universe that they are not worthy to love anyone. And nobody listened. That is why Summer is gone, and that is why Sebastian is gone. Nobody heard their cries. And now it is too late. This is why I tell you, if you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. Mind the children. They are our future. And with the way the world is going, this is what you're going to have every damn day is chaos. Because people don't want to take care of their children. There will be another Summer. There will be another Sebastian. Because these rats out here don't give a fuck about their kids. So I don't have no problem calling in the police or DHS on your ass. It don't bother me none. And it shouldn't bother you either. And yes, the probability of the child going somewhere worse is high. but you gotta have faith that they'll get in a better home than where they came from. And sadly, in both cases, we will never find out because some heathens decided they were not worthy of life. Follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app. Download it to your phone or devices and follow me and subscribe to me over there. I bring you the same type of commentary and posts pertaining to breaking news and hot topics. Follow me here on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit that like button. Drop your comments below the video and the shorts and tell me what you think of the topic at hand. I want to thank those who joined me in this live stream. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing my content. The next slide will be about Celeste Rivas Hernandez. David has been named as a suspect, and we will chop up that information in the next live. If you have any information pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells and Sebastian Rogers, please contact your local police department, TBI, or FBI office. Please only give factual information pertaining to these children. No hocus pocus, no crystal balls, only the facts. And please do not be a perpetrator of lies and mischief pertaining to these kids and any other true crime cases, because we don't need it, those of us who actually care about these kids. Don't spread lies and don't spread misinformation. And please do not meddle in family business or anything with law enforcement by calling them with hocus pocus stories. You had a dream. That's not factual. You had a vision. That's not factual. There are people who are diligently trying to find these kids, and you meddling and poking around because you're lonely and bitter and mad or mentally ill. That's not helping these kids. And I don't condone anyone that puts out fake information about a missing child or a missing adult. This is serious business. And if it is malice, you should want justice for these children and adults. Thank you, sweetheart. You all have a wonderful week. Check out my community page. I have a movie of the week, and I also shared a Christmas horror movie from 1980 on my community page. Hope you enjoy my movie suggestions. I will put up another suggestion this week before the weekend gets here. God bless all of you. Stay safe. Pray for these children. Pray for justice for these children, and pray for all children that they will be raised in decent homes with people who love them and will take care of them and look after them. We have an epidemic in this country of child abuse and neglect. And in this state where I live, which is Tennessee, there are children sleeping in DHS offices because they have nowhere to place the children. This is a sad, sad situation. No child should be sleeping on the floor of a business. But they have no other option because nobody wants to take them in. And this is reality, that many people do not want to take care of older children. That's why people who adopt want newborns, because they want to shape and form that child. They don't want a child that already has an identity. That's facts. Pray for our children. Pray that every night God blesses these children to grow up to be healthy adults, fruitful adults. And pray for those who slip through the cracks and they do not have a safe home. Pray that they make it out and make it to a safe environment. That's my prayer. Thank you for your time. You have been listening to the Paul XL.